A study in potions brought a new domain to the game. Unfortunately, it also locked us to a single room of that domain. Not that it was a lock that held me for very long. The outside of the domain is vast and filled with gorgeous landscapes, the kind of which I'm hoping parts of Sumeru will look like. Through the misty backdrop are waterfalls spilling into a river that runs beyond the cavern we're inside of. Said cavern also has a hole in the ceiling. What lies behind either of them? Well, we may as well take a look, right? We'll come back to the intended play area of the domain in just a bit, but for now, we'll skip over it and fly over to these stairs. Through the door at the top is a room with multiple exits, many of which cannot be used because of invisible walls. An odd choice, really. Why bother putting invisible walls here when this room is so detached from the main area? It should be noted that something like this isn't that common. Though if what I've heard about this place is true, and that it once was planned to be a story domain for Qiqi, then perhaps it's not so strange at all. It indeed feels very beta-like. The top is rather mountainous. From up here, we can see the water plains that make up the river, as well as fields of grass that stretch far beyond what we'd be able to see from the playable area. There are even large floating rocks out in the distance, some with very odd shapes not seen anywhere else in the game. It's always neat to see these things. Particularly in this domain, there's a lot that will never be seen by most players, that cannot be seen from any angle within the intended play area. Remnants of ideas tossed aside and forgotten. Let's take a closer look. Dropping through the ceiling's opening, our destination is the waterfall. If there hasn't been enough proof of the beta-like nature of this place for you, this waterfall is about to change things, because touching the waterfall affects the game's camera. When Xiao walks under the waterfall, the camera shifts and locks into place. This will remain as such until he is no longer beneath the waterfall. And also, if Xiao jumps, yeah, he gets sent flying. We can maybe equate Xiao being sent flying to a combination of the sloped land and of how waterfalls drag you down when beneath them. But the camera? I've no explanation for that. First time ever seeing either of these. The trees here can be cut, although they produce no wood. They're like the trees from before the Serenity Pod update. Large foliage gets in the way quite often, but unlike nearly all other domain background foliage, these can be cut down. It's a bit weird how they just vanish. Overall, this place feels like the developer's time capsule. All the domains are pretty unique, but this one has something a little extra. Let's head back to the intended play area for a quick bird's eye view of the layout. I keep calling it intended play area, but really, we're not yet supposed to be outside of that one room. I hope this doesn't stay that way because the layout here is really great. If we assume the starting point is this series of outer platforms that is totally off camera right now, then our journey through the domain begins with jumping over small waterfalls. We then arrive at the open area on screen, set to that awesome backdrop, and have 3 possible rooms to enter. One at the corner, another at the far side, and the last being where our current event challenge is. Past the challenge room is an area that connects to the room we saw earlier through holes in the ceiling. There's an L-shaped bridge off to the side, and perhaps we can assume some sort of device will be here that creates platforms for reaching the room way over there that we've already explored. And that wraps up this domain, a dusty rack. Given what we've seen here and the beta-like nature of the things contained within, it's quite the fitting name. Here's hoping we brushed off a bit of that dust, and that MiHoYo finishes the cleaning and adds some polish. This is Musashi, signing off. Till next time.